Hey, Poskies and Poskers. It's your podcast, Pa. Coming at you with the 3 Gen Patriot podcast. I am the trifecta. Son, dad, granddad, boom. Count them. 1, 2, 3. The poobah. Coming at you. Now, earlier today, I teased a little smidge, a little something. Super secret. Super secret. Okay. And what I did was what all greats do is they sprinkle a little fairy dust. Well, maybe fairy dust isn't the right word. All right. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Ha 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 ha. Limp wrist, twinkle toe. I get it. You're hilarious. Okay. Oh, the jokes. Oh, I'm holding in my sides. We'll talk a little bit of the magic, the Quan, as they call it. That's what I gave you. Little tidbit. That taste. It's so I don't know. It's indescribable. Where do I get more? Yeah, that's what I gave you. And now here's the more. All right, the main dish, the course, the full course, all the courses. Who knows? Try the potatoes. They're sublime. So, last night I gave you a little smidge, a little insight into the 4th of July. Ting, as they say. So the paw is coming at you. All right. Listen to Pa here. Listen to Pa. Give you a little insight into the 4th of July. A little bit better understanding of what it is we're actually celebrating. And why that's so important. When I was a Ute, as they say, I remember certain things about Lady America, if you will. About America, some bitch, back in the day. Like I would walk to the store, right, with a note and get cigarettes for my mom at the mini mart. I'd give him the guy the note and he'd say, hey, sure, here you go. I remember my mom had the shoebox full of the Bel Air coupons or whatever. She'd get towels and dishes and whatever the hell else. But I, being a gentle lad, what you might call a dainty lad on the cusp of vigor manhood. I don't know. I was probably like 10 or 12 or whatever the hell. Give the guy the note. He gives you the cigarettes, right? Those of you in the know. So no. Know that you know that I know that you know that you know that I know. Excuse us. The old paw here is a little bit crooked. We're going to just a little bit fix that. Used to stop at this mini mart and play video games after school. Lincoln Grocery is what it was called. I think it's still there, but penny candy. I remember being in school and I was taught crazy, insane subjects, right? Like for an elementary school kid, I was taught insane subjects like geography. And the geography was based on the map, the globe. Here is this place. Here is this place. And that was it. That was it. Teaching us where the hell things were, places were, based on the long-standing boundary lines, or what we would call borders. Yeah. That's real. That's real. We call them borders, back in the day when sanity ruled the masses, for the most part. And we would learn. Okay. Now, if I'm getting ahead of some of you, then that's your fault. Tough. You were wronged in your lack of education. You were wronged. So whoever wronged you, this would be a good time for you to go tell them, hey, the poobah, the podcast Papa, told me that I don't know stuff because you didn't teach stuff. Now I stupid. But we learned where places were, what their names were, like Turkey or Russia or South Korea or larger places like South America, North America. How about that? So, as a benefit, I can look at a map, and if somebody says, hey, Podcast Pa, gee golly gee will, I sure do wish I knew where Latin America was. Better yet, I wish I knew where Brazil was, or Venezuela, or Colombia. And I could say to them, well, Podcast Pa, come over here and get this here globe, give her a spin. Stop it. Bingo. How'd you do that? Well, what you might think is magic is called learning. Teachers used to teach it. They did. I know. They did. You see, because back in the day when I was a Ute, my elementary school teachers, okay, I'm going to let you know a little secret. My elementary school teachers used to teach. Crazy, right? Now, what they would teach were little known historical precedents called facts and reality and truth. Come on, say it with me now. Truth. All right. And it was what we would classically designed to call common sense, meaning things that just happened that were because that's real, true, big kid world stuff. It's called being an adult. And when adults were teachers, they taught truth and facts. Here's a globe, here's the map, here's this places, and here's why this place is here, and here's the place next to it, and here's the line, the border that separates the two. These people are Venezuelans. These people are Brazilian. These people are Hispanic, Latin American, Colombian. You know? That was it. That was the facts of it. That was the truth of it. And the biggest thing was I, as a youth, had the benefit of reality, common sense, and mature, rational adults teaching me things like 2 plus 2 is 4. I know. Did you know that algebra is math and not anything else but that? You know how you used to say, your teachers would say, oh, if you don't learn math now, how are you going to grow up and know anything? Well, you'd be amazed at how much math you actually use. So to deny kids math lessons that are actually sensible and real and just black and white math, English, geography, history. Subjects like that, to me, were taught by rational, sane, logical, mature adults. For the most part, not always true. Not always true. Not always true. But for the most part it was. Because I, in your papa's mind here, in the poobah's memory, your podcast pa harkens back to a simpler day. When, even in middle school, when I was an older youth, high school, when I was an even older youth, I remember geography was the study of maps, globes, location of countries, continents, the names, the borders, and where they were. Math, as hard as it was for me, was still math. English wasn't just English, but it was learning how to read, write, sentences, punctuation, structure, context, and how to break it all down, put it all together. Learning how to spell, learning why certain accents and phonetics, the silent this or that, why Colonel is spelled the way it is, not an R in the neighborhood, in the city, not an R anywhere near it. So one thing I don't remember, and listen to your podcast, Pa, listen up. One thing I don't remember is any abstract nonsense being attributed to why I can't learn reality. When you use an excuse that's not based in reality to deny or impose teaching someone or not teaching them a basic subject like math, history, true, factual history, geography, what have you, English, because of some other abstract nonsense, not real reason, you've not only not taught them, but now you're denying reality. At some point, very quickly, people who are insane, crazy people don't know they're crazy. That's why they can rationalize such insanity at times, because to them, there is no such thing as rational thought. There is only talking points. Real doesn't exist. Truth is opinion based. Well, I don't perceive that to be true. Well, the truth doesn't care because it is. How many lies do you have to tell to cover up one lie? How many truths do you have to tell to cover up the truth? You don't. You tell the truth once, and it's the truth no matter who you tell. You know, they say that a lie is halfway around the world before the truth gets its pants on. That's fine, because the truth doesn't have to cover its tracks. A lie does. A lie has to cover its tracks and then some. And those who do lie have to cover their tracks. When you deny the truth simply because you say, truth is my truth, that is the most insane, ridiculous, soggy half-pound of horse-ish for brains nonsense I've ever heard. There's no such thing as my truth. The truth is unto itself. It doesn't belong to anybody, because it will show up when you don't want it. It cannot be argued against. It cannot be fought. You can try, but you will lose. The truth needs no defense. What it takes is those who are willing to admit it, acknowledge it, stand by it, and not defend it. Because after all, you don't have to defend the truth. That's why they say people who defend themselves louder are just lying louder, right? It's a classic human trait. It is a character flaw, defect, that is timeless and shared by all. It is a human tell. It's the one thing that people consistently, throughout the ages, do not believe about themselves, but continue to prove true over and over again. The louder you deny or defend, the louder you're lying. Because after all, you don't have to loudly scream the truth. You just have to acknowledge it and let all the attacks come. Boing, 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 boing. Like little Nerf pellets. Bing, 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 bing. They do no damage. You just shake them off. If there's one thing fanatic insanity hates, it's those who refuse to bend to the emotional destruction, the emotional volatility, the emotional violence, literally, that is needed to perpetuate such insanity in the mind. You have to replace logic, reason, sanity, rational, common sense with pure, unhinged, insane, rageful maniacal emotion. Because that's what it takes to override this. Remember that. Arguing with someone who is coming from an unhinged, purely emotional point is not only insane, but that is the very definition of arguing with a drunk. Because much like alcohol, you can't rationalize with a fifth of Jack, especially when the fifth of Jack is doing the talking and the thinking for whatever. Insanity is drunkenness. Insanity is a toxin that disconnects the brain, disconnects the heart, and is just a fire burning out of control. When's the last time you got a fire to stop burning by arguing a truthful, fact-based point of view to it? When's the last time that you were able to do that? Just curious, I'm still waiting. So, the last time you put out a fire that was rampaging, and you did it by arguing the truth and the facts of the situation to the fire, and actually got it to stop burning. Okay, well, when that does happen, then you can start arguing with these maniacal lunatics that are all through the country. Okay? Okay? So as we're at a pivotal point where our patriotism is being ragefully and viciously attacked, the enemy, the father of lies, the master of manipulation, is on full force, on his game big time. That means you, my Poskies and Poskers, like your papa here, like your poobah, listen to the trifecta here. You have got to be resolute, concrete shoes, foundational in your faith, truth, logic, reason, common sense, God, family, country. And I would even argue that you could do away with the country for now and just stick with God and family. Because there is no denying the spirituality that is at the crux, the core, the very heart of what is happening around us. Don't deny it. It's kind of, even for people who don't believe in God, they can't argue. There is not anything human about the insanity rampaging through these, what used to be people. Remember, the weakest willed are the easiest to turn. That is wholly true. So as your podcast Pa here just runs you through a little bit of a history about your Posky here, your poobah, the Posky of the ski of skis here. All right, the king ski here. To kind of put it into context, remember why we celebrated the 4th of July. Remember why that matters. And remember what it is we're up against now. This is not political. This is everywhere, every day. This is evil possessed, maniacally insane versus faith-based, sensible, rational, logical, truth, mature adults, sanity, faith-based sanity versus evil-possessed insanity. That's it. Remember that. Poskies and Poskers. And tomorrow night, I'm gonna take you back in. Okay. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna take you back in and give you the update on the insane move. And it is insane, believe me. It's kind of a good insane. Sometimes us deeply grounded, very, very mentally secure, rational adults like to play around with words. Yeah, we have fun. Like, oh, that's insane. But it's not a game, because what we're pulling off here with the move is kind of crazy, and you can't admit it. But I'll take you along for the ride. So, all right, my Poskies and Poskers, that was just a little tidbit. We're coming back for more. Tomorrow, give you the update. All right. So, as I reach up into my bag of tricks, ooh, what's this I feel? I got a little gift from the Sandman, and I'm going to share it with all my Poskies and Poskers. You ready? Open your eyes. Say, Podcast Pa, I want to dream sweet dreams. Do you now? Well, your Podcast Pa's here to make it happen. There it is. You gotta blink real hard. Get all that Sandman dust. Sweet dreams are coming. All right. From your Podcast Pa to you out there. Okay. Oh, I got a little more. There it is. All right. All right. Don't go dreaming all those sweet dreams at once, all right? Spread it out through the week. Okay. We'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Put her there, partner. I don't know. Whatever they said. All right. Listen to what I said. Believe what I said. I will never lie. If I tell you I know, I'll back it up. If I tell you I don't know, I'll give you my opinion. But either way, the truth and faith is what you get from your Podcast Pa here. Remember, keep the faith, because without it, you keep nothing. All right. Sweet dreams. Ooh, yeah. It's that sweet. Start to finish. All right, baby.